Hello class, this week we will cover the important changes in APA version 7, and there are some new updates, and I will be comparing version 6 with version 7 so you can better understand what are the different updates in the new version. So some of the noticeable changes in APA version 7 are introduction to professional and student format, changes in references, additional fonts, updates in the title page, updated guidelines for inclusive and bias-free language, changes in spacing. Now, if we talk about changes in references and in in-text citation, some of the changes are there's a change in publisher location, in-text citation, label DOI, URL changes, web page title page, surnames in reference list. So these are some of the changes which I will further expand on. So the publisher location. So in APA version 6, the publisher location is included in the reference. So this is the example. This is the book citation. So you see the publisher location here. It's mentioned here. However, in version 7, the location is not included. So you don't have to include the location in version 7. So whenever you start following version 7, this is what you have to follow. Whenever you cite the book, no location is needed, no publisher location. Okay, the in-text citation. So in APA version 6, which required 3 or more authors' name to be included in first citation, and the second citation included the author's name and ETAL. The example is right here. In the narrative format, you put 3 authors, their name and the year, or 3 or more authors. Again, in the parenthesis. And APA version 7 does not require 3 or more authors' name to be included in the first citation. So whenever you're doing APA version 7 paper, whenever there's the author name, you don't have to add 3 or more authors' name in the first citation. So the first citation can go like this: ETL and the year. So this is another example. So version 6, you have to provide 3 or more authors' name in the first citation. In 7, you don't have to provide. So you provide first name and ETAL for the first citation. Now label DOI. In APA version 6, required a DOI label. As we know, this is a citation of a journal article. It requires DOI number, and we indicate with DOI and then the following the DOI. APA version 7 does not require DOI label. So again, same kind of format, but no DOI here. So you just follow with HTTP and the link. The URL changes. So in APA version 6, URLs are preceded by retrieved from. So this is an example. This is an article from CNN. So once you have the article here, you put retrieved from. But in APA version 7, URL is not preceded by retrieved from. So again, CNN and then just the link to the article. So you don't have to put retrieved from in version 7. Now the web title page. Now this is the again, this is the article from the CNN. So the web title page in version 6 is not italicized. So this is the web title page. It is not italicized, but in version 7 it is italicized right here. So if you're taking an article from the web, or let's say took the article from CNN, I have to italicize the title page right here. Now surnames in reference. So APA version 6, surnames are and initials for up to 7 authors are required in the reference list. Okay, so surnames of or initials of up to 7 authors, but in APA version 7, you have initials for up to 20 authors are required. So you have to put the initials or surname of 20 authors in version 7. This is an example. So version 6, I put only 7 authors name here, But in version 7, I have to put 20 list all the 20 authors. Now APA format, how to set the paper. To set the format of the paper, as I mentioned before, there are two format, professional version and the student version. So the difference between professional format and student format is that the professional format carries a running head and student format don't need a running head. Now professional format requires running head, however, no longer includes the word running head. So you're providing the running head, but you're not writing these letters here, running head on the top. I'll show you in the next page. So steps to set up the paper. You have to set the margin to 1 inches. Set the spacing to double. Add the page to the header on the right side of the page. Now the title page carries some of the little changes in title page. So title of the paper, we did that with version 6 also. Title of the paper, your name, university name, and the department you're affiliated with. So course number and course name, then the instructor's name, and then the due date. I also provided the links in the bottom, so if you want to go further into examples, there are links here which you can open. Now the professional format, this is the professional format. Again, it comes with the running head, but you don't have to write the word running head. Again, the numbering on the right side of the header, okay. Then the title of the paper, then my name, then Department of Occupational Therapy, then your comma university, so Bay Path University, then your course number OTB 529, and then the course name, so utilization of research, and then your professor's name. So you just have to make sure how your professors want to be called. If it's Dr. Lactera, Dr. Mary, so you have to write with their as they like their name, and then the due date in the bottom. These are the few important things that you have to pay attention on the title page. Next, how to set the reference page. Now the heading of reference list should be in bold, okay, and the reference is references. You don't have to put reference, just references, okay. And now the hanging indent for the references, no changes in that, so it should be hanging indent. Spacing always should be double. That's the standard, double spacing throughout the paper. Arrange references in alphabetical orders. Again, so A, B, C, that's how you arrange them. And then I do have, again, the external resource here, which you can definitely, Purdue always very, very resourceful too. So how to arrange the APA paper? To arrange the APA paper, you need a title page, that's your front page, then your abstract, then comes your text, your content, and the references. After references, there's another page for footnotes. If you have it, depending on which class you're taking, your professor will instruct you. And table, figures, and then appendices. I did mention some of the most common citations used in MOT program, which is maybe article in print journal, article in electronic journal, article in a print newspaper or electronic newspaper. So these are some of the formats of the citation. Article, edited book, chapter in an edited book, very important. Then the in-text citation. I did provide some of the in-text citations here. So when you're using the direct quote, there are 3 different ways you can present that direct quote. So again, the author's name, year, presents with, and then you put the direct quote, but you need a page number. When you are using a direct quote, you need a page number, and if it's electronic, there's no page number, you can put the paragraph number, okay? But when you're paraphrasing, you don't need a page number, okay? So these are the 3 different ways I put here that as an example, that these are the ways you can introduce or paraphrase the idea and actually give credit to the original source. Now, some of the mechanics of style, some of the major differences, updates in APA version 7, use of space after period, use 1 space after a period at the end of a sentence, okay? So when you're writing a sentence in APA version 6, after a sentence, after a full stop, you need 2 spaces, but in version 7, you are using only 1 space. Now the quotation marks. use quotation marks around linguistic example instead of italics. So, for example, the correct way is I was provided with agree or disagree choice during the interview. Incorrect is I was provided with the so this is APA version 6. You used to italicize agree or disagree. But in APA version 7, you'll be providing quotation marks. Inclusive and bias-free language. So updated guidelines for writing about gender, racial, ethnic identity, disability, and age. So APA version 7 is very specific with that. So there are some changes, and APA also encourage you to use a singular pronouns. Instead of saying his or her, you have to write they or their. For example, now this is the incorrect version. Each student submitted his or her resting hand pattern. So correct way, if you're writing an APA 7, version 7 paper, the correct way will be use a singular pronouns. That will be each student submitted their resting hand pattern. And AP also emphasize on person's first language. That means if you're talking about the poor people or the correct way will be the people living in poverty. So if I'm talking about an autistic child, this story is about a child with autism. So use of labels again. As I mentioned before, again, if you're labeling any disability, ethnic, race, so you have to be very specific with that. So incorrect, if the incorrect will be some of the Asian participants are enrolled in the study. So you have to be very specific when you're using APA version 7. So some of the Chinese and Indian participants are enrolled in the study. Just don't say a full common term as Asian. You have to be specific whatever Asian or community was used in that study. So or the poor people faces more challenges. So more people living in poverty faces more challenges. The incorrect way again, again with the age. So this study includes participants over 55. This study includes participants age 55 to 100. So these are some of the resources I again mentioned here. APA style website, amazing website will provide you more further insight into the content. Now APA also introduces variety of fonts. So we have 5 different fonts here. But for the MOT program, we are strictly using Times New Roman. Okay, that's the standard of this program, and that we will be using. APA will provide a little bit more flexibility with the heading styles. Again, these are the new heading styles, but MOT program will be using centered boldface title case heading. This is the standard what we are using for version 7.2, version 6.2 before. So again, the title and then the next paragraph you saw the content. These are more options, but again, we are strictly using the centered boldface. A little bit outline of what is plagiarism and how can we avoid plagiarism. So using someone else's work or idea and presenting as your own work without giving the original source credit is plagiarism. So can you use your own content if you have used the other your content in other class and present in another class? No, you can't, because that will be self-plagiarism. So using your previous work from the other class or course and reusing the same work is self-plagiarism. So you have to be very careful whenever you're taking someone's idea. You have to cite. You must cite. And again, correct citation. The in-text citation is very important in this program. How to avoid plagiarism? So plagiarism can be avoided by providing credit to the original source using citation and references, and paraphrasing the work to support your work and providing credit to the original source for the idea. Now, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing a source means using someone's idea in your own word to support your content. When you paraphrase an idea, you must also provide credit to the original source using in-text citation and by providing the reference in the reference list. So always definitely you can use a source or the someone's idea to support your content, but you must provide credit to the original source. So this is just an example of how to paraphrase or a correct form of paraphrase. And I do have a quiz for you guys here. It's just to assess your understanding um, of APA and plagiarism.